Linda Israel here. The scent of the day is Strawberry Kiwi from JIC. This is a soy wax melt, and I've got a JIC wax warmer, and inside the candles and wax melts comes jewelry, and this will be a ring. This is one of the rings that I got out of one of the candles or tarts in the past. You get to choose this jewelry whenever you place an order. If you're interested in that, check the link down below. Doing so helps me because I don't get money for doing these videos. So help me out, place an order. Today I'm going to make a greeting card using the Brutus Monroe Stamp set. This is the Chicago, Sending Love from Chicago. It's the Snow Globe set. It's a brand new set from Brutus Monroe. We're going to do some embossing with it. What I've got here is a card topper that is cut at just under 5.5 and just under 4.25 inches. I wanted this just to be slightly smaller than what would be on the card front. I'm using my anti-static bag here. If you don't have an anti-static bag, you can make one yourself. You can use talc powder or cornstarch, whatever you have on hand, and that will keep the stray embossing powder from sticking in places you don't want. I'm going to stamp a background on this black cardstock. I'm using the hearts from the beautiful set from Brutus Monroe. I've got it mounted on my block, and I've got the Brutus Monroe embossing ink. I like to re-ink, so I have the re-inker. So I like to re-ink whenever I'm going to be doing some embossing, because sometimes you don't know how long it's been since the last time. And I'm just going to pounce my ink pad on my stamp, and then we will stamp on here. So we'll do that all the way across, like so. I'm not going to worry about doing the middle of the card because my snow globe's going to go right in the center. But I want to make sure that my edges and the bottom get done really well. I've got the Silver Sterling by Brutus Monroe embossing powder. I've got a scrap piece of paper here. And what I'm going to do is sprinkle the powder over the top. And what it'll do is it'll stick wherever the embossing fluid or ink on this card. That's more than enough. So now I've got embossing powder on here. Move this out of the way, and then we'll heat set this. While I still have the embossing powder out here on my paper, I want to go around the edges. So I'm going to take my embossing pad or ink and just go over the edge on my card. And this just will give a little frame to my card. So I'm just going to dip it into the powder, tap off any excess. And then we'll heat emboss that. Clean up the embossing powder. I like to take a soft cloth and wipe off any of the talc powder, and that will clean up the card. You want to do this when you know that the embossing powder is cool so you don't smear your newly embossed image. set that aside a moment. I've got my Misty here. I've placed my snow globe and the text "Sending Love From." I've got a piece of cardstock here. I'm just going to place a couple of magnets so that my cardstock doesn't move around. I've got the Brutus Monroe Detail Ink and Raven. I'm just going to ink up both the snow globe and the text, and then we will stamp it. What I like about the Misty is once you put it into the Misty and you stamp, if you didn't get enough ink the first time, you can stamp it again. So we'll see if it did okay. I need a little more ink. Sometimes I'm not real sure if I get enough ink the first time or not. But when you put it in the Misty like this, you can stamp it as many times as necessary, and you don't have to worry about it moving on you. Oh yeah, that's much better. Move it from my Misty. Clean up my... Another thing I like about the Misty is you can set it up and then just keep stamping over and over and over. So if you want to make 20 cards, 30 cards, you can do that. I'm going to cut out the snow globe. So I've just got a pair of scissors here, and I'm going to fussy cut this out. I'll be right back. I'm going to trim out the saying, so I'm just using my little guillotine cutter and cutting this down just a little bit. I'm going to make this look like a little arrow, cutting it at a point. Like so, and then we'll make a pin it at the other end, and it's okay if it looks handmade because it is. I've got a black Sharpie. Whenever you cut out an image like this, go around the edge, and that'll make it look that much more professional because you won't see the white edge if you're using white cardstock of your image. If you're ever afraid that you're going to mess up your image by using the Sharpie on the front, flip it over and work with it on your table with the back up. And then that way you don't have to worry about making an oopsie on your image. I'm going to go around the "Sending Love From." I've got a little heart punch here from Imagination. It's a little primitive looking heart. I recently picked up this heart after the show in Phoenix. I was trying to get position here and I couldn't talk at the same time. Creativation. I went to a little stamp store in Santa Fe and picked this little gem up. Alright, so let's assemble the card now. I've got some glue dot adhesive here. So just put a little bit of that on the back side of my card. Stick this down. I just got an A2 size greeting card here. I've got some pop dots. I like to use all of it, so I will trim pieces of this off so I can use it on the back side. I'm going to use a strip on this little sign here. It's funny, whenever I use pop dots and I'm not on camera, I never have a problem. When I get on camera, I have to fight with them. Alright, so here is my little card using the Chicago snow globe from Brutus Monroe, using the hearts out of the beautiful stamp set, using the sterling embossing powder, using the embossing ink from Brutus Monroe, the black detail ink from Brutus Monroe, and then the heart punch from Imagination, some glue dots, and of course some pop dots that I had here in my stash. I hope you enjoyed this little greeting card that I've made with the new snow globe from Brutus Monroe. Make sure that you check out the link in the description box to get all of these supplies from Brutus Monroe. Use my link and I get brownie points with Brutus Monroe. If you have any questions, feel free to comment in the box below. Send me a message. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. I like stalkers, as they say. We appreciate your giving this a thumbs up, a share, and of course just following along. Thanks for watching today. Have a fabulous day, and as Christopher likes to say, create your own ending. Thanks for watching. Bye.